Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is still a Toad, and today, in the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus said, "I came not to bring peace to the world, but to set fire to it and watch it until it blazes." And in the Red Book, Carl Jung says, "Worship and laugh in the same breath, and laugh with a bloody laughter." And in the Ars Goetia, it says there are 1,000 demons to your left and 10,000 demons to your right. There is demons all around. In the Gospel of Thomas again, it says, what does it say? It says, "If they tell you the kingdom is in the sea, then the fish will precede you. If they tell you the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds will precede you. But I say to you, the kingdom is all around you. Move a stone, and there it is. Look around a corner, and there it is. The kingdom is within you and outside of you. It's everywhere." Okay? And then one more thing is I'm going to tell you this. The gods of fire and the gods of ice will lay this world to waste. Literally, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. This is a fact. This is the way which is to come. They will tell you. The charlatans will tell you that New World Order is coming and it's going to destroy everything. When the difference is New World Order and One World Order are not the same thing. Order creates more order. One World Order is what they want when they demonize the New World Order. One World Order is where one controls the world, and more order will be created from the order that is. Order doesn't die, it replicates like a virus. But from chaos, new things are created. From chaos, something that has not been seen can become seen. I tell you, all things that are unseen will not become seen. All things that are unseen will become seen. That's what I meant to say. If you place a hand in front of a hand, and a foot in front of a foot, and an image in front of an image, then you will know the kingdom. Now let me make one more quote from the Gospel of Thomas. Here's the kicker, okay? "Those who do not know themselves live in poverty, and it is them that are that poverty." That's a different thing entirely, isn't it? You ever wonder why they take that gospel out? It's so that they can keep pushing their one world order, when the New World Order will come. This is what we need. We need a new order to this world. We need a new order to the order that has been created. We don't need governments. We don't need money. We don't need any of that. It only creates more of the same, just like a virus or like a cancer. But now let's get into this story, okay? Okay. You're in a house, all right? And there are 10 within the house. There is you, 8 other people, they're adults about the same age as you, and then a small child. Okay? Now, you are in a hazmat suit. These people that you live with, these 8 other people, they start opening up the windows. Not the small child, they hide. Now, these people, they start opening up the windows, they open up the doors to the fireplace, and don't light a fire. They open up the windows. They open all the orifices of this house. And then spiders start to come in. Red, white, and blue spiders that glow with a glorious light. And these 8 people get bit by the spiders. And as they get bit, their pupils get big like saucers, like they're on acid or something. They become zombified and comforted by these spiders. These spiders lay them to rest. These spiders feed on their bodies. They feed on these 8 people. Now they can't feed on you because you're in a hazmat suit. And the child has hidden. They can't feed on the child. The child is not there. The child hid. Because of course it did. They didn't want none of that. Well, here's the deal. These 8 people, they let the spiders in on purpose. These 8 people are the emanations of the inner child, the child that's there, and the inner child is God. The emanations of God are not God, but emanations of it. Emanations of the inner child have become demons. They've become thought forms of darkness. They've become something harmful, okay? So, these thought forms have opened your mind to demons. They've opened your aura to these demons that get in, alright? And the inner child created these people. They created these thought forms, these emanations, to adapt to the outside world, to being taught how to do stuff, to being yelled at, to being traumatized, okay? That's what these people are from. They're from the traumas created by having to adapt to this world, okay? And so, the inner child knew that this would happen. The inner child hid away to protect themselves. But if they did not create these emanations, they would not have been able to adapt. You would not have been able to adapt to life. You would not have been able to adapt to being yelled at. Because your mind was soft at this point. You would not have been able to adapt to all the bullshit crap that you had to learn in order to get through it all. Okay? And so the inner child hid after creating these harmful emanations. And it's you in this hazmat suit. And now you found the inner child, and you're trying to protect it, and you get cornered into a room, and the spiders consume everyone. The last 2. This can be avoided. Now, these last 2... No, didn't work. Okay. These last 2 people, you and your inner child, are the alpha and the omega. The beginning and the end. The first and the last. Okay? You are the last emanation. And your inner child is the first emanation. The first being that came from the pure source. Okay? God. Okay? This inner child within you is your higher self. It is God. Alright? And in order to close the house back up, you must get rid of the spiders that are already within the house. To do this, you have to kill these people that are feeding on these that are feeding the spiders. That are feeding their bodies to the spiders. You have to kill them. Each emanation must die. Okay? Now you're in a hazmat suit. You can't die. You're the current version of your inner child. As you kill off each of these emanations, you and the inner child become one. Become one being within this hazmat suit. Alright? So, you have to kill these emanations. And what are the emanations? They're the product of trauma. That's where the demons get in. That's why the house is opened up. This is all a metaphor to say that when you suffer trauma, it opens up a hole in your mind where the 10,000 demons can infect you. Okay? So you have to deal with your traumas. Now, to deal with your traumas, you have to first identify what they are. The demons attach to those traumas, so how do you identify what the traumas are? You have to see what the product is. Look at this dilated pupil. The dilated pupil people. Okay? Maybe the product of this trauma is smoking. Maybe it's doing drugs. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's a kink. No matter what it is, it's from trauma. Identify it and make it Satan or the devil. Make it the Satan or the Diaphil. Make it the enemy, the accuser, and the oppressor, because that's what both of those words mean. The devil was never a character. Okay? Make the product, make the emanation the enemy, okay, and kill it yourself. The spiders will have nothing to feed on, so they leave. Whatever the product is, it must die. Alright? So if you're not willing to kill the emanations, to kill the addictions, to kill the slavery that is created by trauma, then you won't get these demons out. But after you get the demons out, and the traumas, the trauma thought forms, the emanations are killed, then you will still be left with the trauma, okay? And so these emanations may come back. You have to deal with the trauma, because after you kill the cause of it, it may be replaced with another cause. But if you can make an enemy out of it, instead of just dropping it entirely, if you can make an enemy out of whatever the cause, or whatever the effect is, okay? The emanations, then you can kill it. Let me explain this. If you go from smoking to eating a gallon of ice cream a day, then you're still addicted to something. It's just not the same thing. The same exact same thing. It's the same emanation, though. It's the same thing almost. So rather than that, before just dropping smoking and picking up a different habit or a different addiction to feed this emanation that's feeding the spiders, instead of that, make an enemy out of smoking. Make smoking into a demon that you can visibly see and you can visibly fight. Okay? Dang it. I can't pause it. The demonization part of the process is very important because it makes this emanation into a thought form that can actually be defeated. In order to do fight or flight, you have to be able to fight and you have to be able to fly. Flying is available because you can just not complete the process of completion, of completion of your inner child, but fighting is also available. That's where the demonization process is vital. But pretty much, set a character or an archetype. We're using magic now. Set a character or an archetype against the demon created by the addiction. Okay, the emanation. You can set it against the emanation. Alright? You can do this by using a destructive archetype. I suggest Golb from Adventure Time. Not just because it's Adventure Time. I don't have any motive in doing this. Golb is just the best archetype for doing this. You can use Samael, the Angel of Death, but he doesn't have the Chaos. You can use an Angel of Chaos, but he doesn't have the Death. You can use both of them together, but that's not a unified form, and it won't be as powerful. And even then, all these archaic thought forms, all these archaic archangels and stuff, they're old things. We don't read the stories of these angels. They're not ingrained into our subconscious. But we have seen Adventure Time, okay? We've seen that show. The characters from that show are ingrained into our subconscious. You don't have to use the characters from Adventure Time. Anything that represents chaos, discord, and death together in a unified way, you can use. That's a powerful thought form, whatever it is, okay? Anything that unifies those concepts you can use. But so far, Golb is the only one that's really unified them well, okay? Golb as in Bumblebee, okay? So Golb simplifies before he kills. And that means that as you get put into this cube that compresses inside of Golb after he swallows you, your forms, your actual emanations, your ego digresses into its previous forms until you're your original self. You're your original being. And so the best thing to do to kill these emanations, the best way that I've come up with, this is the only method that I have used to do this, other than just holotropic breathwork. Holotropic breathwork is also a good way to reveal these emanations to yourself and digress your form. You eventually negate these characters, but if you don't demonize them, you can't really kill them. They'll be there but neutralized. Okay? So what's the difference between them being killed and them being there but neutralized? If something is neutralized, it can be reactivated by more trauma. If something is killed, it's gone. Okay? So that's why I use Golb. So combine the archetype of Golb with other things like holotropic breathwork and Wim Hof breathing to kill these emanations or these prior egoic forms and digress yourself into your original form, your complete form. Okay? How would you do that? Pray to Golb. Put your hands together and equalize the elements. Okay? Fire, air, ether, earth, water. Equalize them this way. And pray to Golb. Golb, the emanations of my inner child and my higher self. My egoic forms. My demonic forms. The things that feed my demons, the holes in my mind. Destroy them. Simplify them. Invoke me. Fill me with your chaotic power, your chaotic energy, and simplify me to my original form. Okay? That's a simple prayer that you can do to simplify yourself into your original form, or you can word it yourself. You can do any sort of wording that you want. It doesn't matter. Now, another way to do this would be to do the invoking program, like that. Link in the description for, or the receiving program is actually what it's called. But yeah, that's another way to do it. When you invoke Golb, then you simplify yourself. So this is, you can call this Stellar Toad's method for simplifying. Stellar Toad's method of completion. Okay, this isn't the same as really anything else that I know of, but to the same effect, it doesn't matter what you call it. Using Golb is just useful for simplifying your ego into its original form, okay? Which is your inner child or your higher self. That's what it means to be Christ. When you become Christ, you become divinity into focus, instead of divinity into focus through all these other things. Okay, that's what it means to be Christ, is when you are your true inner self. You are your true inner child. That's what that means, okay? So, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, and share. Goodbye.